Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. I welcome you all to our special session for Guru Purnima Day today. As we all know, Guru Purnima has a very special significance in Sanatana Dharma. And on this day, we invoke the grace of the entire Guru-parampara for our spiritual journey. So on this day, we dwell upon the significance, the importance of our Guru and the entire Guru-parampara and the liberating teaching that is given by the Guru-parampara. The first thing to dwell upon is who is a Guru. And the next thing that we'll dwell upon today is why does the Guru have such an exalted place in the tradition? And the third point that we'll dwell upon is the necessity of a Guru in our spiritual journey. So who is a Guru? These days, and for a very long time in fact, the English language has also subsumed the word Guru into the English dictionary. And therefore, the word Guru is very often loosely used in varying contexts. These days especially, we hear about management gurus and finance gurus. And even in the tradition, for a lot of teachers of arts, traditional arts like Bharatanatyam or Carnatic music, the word guru is used in a lot of these traditional contexts also. So the culture also allows the usage of the word guru for a lot of traditional teachers. But really speaking, when it comes to a student of Vedanta, the word guru has a very, very specific meaning. And that is indicated by the shloka. Gukarastvandhakaro vai, gukarastan andhakara nirodhitvat gururitya vidhiyate. So the word guru has got two syllables, gu and ru. And therefore, the shloka explains the word guru in terms of these two syllables. Gukarastvandhakaro vai, gukaraha tu andhakaraha vai, it says. Gukaraha tu andhakaraha vai, meaning the syllable gu stands for andhakaraha or darkness. Rukaraha tannivartakaha. The syllable ru stands for tannivartakaha, meaning the remover of this darkness. Therefore, andhakara nirodhitvat, because of having the ability to remove this darkness, Andhakara nirodhitvat guruhu iti abhidhiyate. The person is called a guru. And therefore, the remover of darkness. Now, the question is, what is this darkness? And why do we insist upon removing this darkness? If we take the physical analogy, let's imagine that we are in a dark room. When we are in a dark room, then there is struggle that takes place in the darkness because I am not able to see clearly. If I get up from the bed in a totally dark room, and let's add an unfamiliar place also, then I may bang my knee against something, or I may trip over something. And if I am looking for something specific, I may fumble in the darkness. I may even trip and fall. So darkness, physical darkness, even at the Vyavaharika level, causes a lot of struggle. But the guru that we are talking about here is not the one who comes and switches on the light, because the one who switches on the light is also a remover of darkness. But in this case, we are not talking about the physical darkness and the remover of the physical darkness. We are talking about the darkness that is internal in the mind. And this is the darkness of ignorance. The physical darkness makes me as good as a blind person. I effectively become blind in the presence of this physical external darkness. There's no difference between me and a blind person. This internal darkness of ignorance makes me spiritually blind. It is the cause of spiritual blindness. When I'm spiritually blind, I don't know who I am. I don't know what the nature of the world is. I don't know who God is or whether God is there or not. And I don't know what my relationship with God is if God is there. So the internal darkness of ignorance causes spiritual blindness. And just like the external darkness makes me as good as blind, effectively causes blindness, which results in struggle in the external world. Similarly, this internal darkness of ignorance causes this spiritual blindness, and that results in struggle in life. Constant struggle in life. Therefore, the Guru is one who removes this internal darkness of ignorance. And how does the Guru remove this internal darkness of ignorance? The external darkness goes only by one means, by bringing in light. Similarly, this internal darkness of ignorance goes only by one means. Vidya eva avidyam nihanti tejas timira sangavat, like we saw in Atma Bodha. The avidya goes only by vidya, by knowledge. So the Guru is one who brings the light of knowledge and dispels this internal ignorance, internal darkness of self-ignorance. When we say knowledge, we are referring to Atma Jnanam. The Guru lights up the mind with Atma Jnanam, and this Atma Jnanam dispels this Ajnanam, this darkness of ignorance, and that removes my spiritual blindness. Just like when the light comes, I was effectively blind in darkness. When this light comes, my blindness is gone. Similarly, when this light of Atma Jnanam comes, my spiritual blindness goes. And that brings an end to all struggle, all misery in life. That's why the Guru Stotram says, Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Ajnana Timirandhasya. So instead of this external darkness, let's suppose somebody has this cataract in the eye. So the cataract in the eye also makes this person effectively blind. It depends on the extent of the cataract. The person is not able to see anything clearly. Why? Because of the cataract. So that is what is called Timira here in the shloka. So now what is required is a surgeon who uses some fine instrument and does this surgery that removes the cataract. So Ajnana Timirandhasya. So Timirandhasya Shalakaya. Shalaka means a fine instrument. So with a fine instrument, the surgeon removes this cataract. And when the cataract is removed, then he can see clearly. Chakshuhu unmilitam. The physical chakshuhu is unmilitam, effectively opened. Therefore, now he can see clearly. So similar to this, the Guru comes in. And he removes this timira of ajnanam, this cataract of ajnanam in the mind. So this person is blinded by the cataract of ajnanam, meaning he is spiritually blind. Jnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya. So the Guru comes in with a fine instrument. What does this instrument do? This instrument implants the jnanam in his mind, gives rise to the jnanam in his mind. And this jnanam removes the cataract of ajnanam. What is this fine instrument? This fine instrument are the words of Vedanta that are employed by the Guru. The words of Vedanta are the pramana during Shravanam, that is employed during Shravanam, that gives rise to this jnanam in the mind, that removes this cataract of ajnanam. And then what happens? The cataract of ajnanam is gone. Then the spiritual eye is opened. Chakshuhu unmilitam. The eye of knowledge is opened. The spiritual eye is opened. And this person is no longer spiritually blind. He sees who I am, what the nature of this world is, who God is. And he sees that I am essentially one with God. So this is the function of a guru. And based on this function, the word guru originates. Ukarastva andhakaro vai rukarastan nivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvad guruhu iti abhidhiyate. So then Having known who the Guru is, what the function of a Guru is, why does the Guru have such an exalted place in our tradition? Because this spiritual blindness causes a lot of problems. I am, really speaking, Brahman. And as Brahman, I belong to a higher order of reality. Just like the waker belongs to a higher order of reality when compared to the dream. So as Brahman, I belong to a higher order of reality as compared to this body, mind, and this world. But then when I don't know this fact as a fact, I am spiritually blind. I am blind to what the reality is. And when I am blind to what the reality is, I mistake something else other than the reality to be the reality. This ajnanam always causes adhyasa. This ignorance always causes superimposition. When I don't see the rope as a rope, I invariably mistake it to be something else like a snake. When I don't know the reality for what it is, that I as Brahman am the reality. And everything else other than me belongs to a lower order of reality. In fact, it is not real. When I don't know this fact as a fact, I mistake myself to be this puny body mind in this separate world. The situation is very similar to a waker who enters the dream. And having entered the dream, waker is the one who has projected the dream. But having entered the dream, he forgets that he is the waker. And then he identifies himself with this puny body mind, dream body mind, in the separate dream world. And then he roams around in the dream world and struggles in the dreamland. The situation is very similar here when I don't know that I am Brahman. That is the adhishthanam of the entire Jagat. That is in fact the adhishthanam of the Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. When I don't know that I am this Brahman, I mistake myself to be the Jiva. And having mistaken myself to be the Jiva, I take myself to be this body, mind in this separate world. And then I am roaming around in this separate world, looking for fulfillment. Why? Because as this body, mind, I can never be fulfilled. Because I am deficient, wanting, inadequate, apurna. And then I am roaming around in this world, looking for purnatvam in this world, looking for fulfillment in this world. Everything I do in this world is backed by a motive, which is to become fulfilled, to become purnaha. So I enter this life of becoming, where I'm constantly trying to become something or the other. Even if I'm acquiring things in the world, I'm not acquiring things in the world for the sake of that thing, but it is because I want to become a possessor of that thing. Why? Because I'm looking for fulfillment through that possession. And therefore I engage in the pursuit of artha and kamaha and dharma for the sake of artha and kamaha. But this life of becoming, this becoming, and adjusting the world can never really lead me to fulfillment. So this entire life is spent in these pursuits. Balastavat kridasaktaha. As a child, one plays with toys. Tarunastavat taruni saktaha. As a youth, one is engaged with one's partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever it is. And riddhastavat, one becomes old. And then grandchild saktaha, we can say. Bhagavad says chinta saktaha. We can say grandchild saktaha. Engaged with the grandchildren. So the entire world goes in these kind of pursuits. Parame Brahmani Kopina Saptaha. One never comes to this fundamental inquiry of who I am. And Dinayaminyau Sayam Prataha Shishira Vasantau Punarayataha Kalah Kridati Gacchatyayuhu Tadapina Munchati Ashavayuhu. The entire life goes. But one remains this wanting person. Tadapina Munchati Ashavayuhu. This asha, this desire for fulfillment, this desire to become fulfilled remains unfulfilled. And death does not end this. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. So the whole life goes, death comes, one remains unfulfilled, and then one is born again. And what happens in the new life? The same story repeats again. Unfulfilled, 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 trying to become fulfilled, trying to become fulfilled. Death comes again. And then punarapi jananam, punarapi jathare shayanam. Another life comes, the same story repeats. So Vedanta points out that one will never, with this approach, one will never come to total unconditional fulfillment because one is looking for it in the wrong place. One is trying to seek Nitya Sukham, this permanent fulfillment. From what? From this Jagat. The Jagat is Anitya. So this can never bring me to the total fulfillment. And this struggle, the never-ending struggle for fulfillment, through the pursuit of Arthaha and Kamaha and Dharmaha for the sake of Arthaha and Kamaha, this never-ending struggle for fulfillment through the pursuit of the first three Purusharthas is what we call samsara. So this person is stuck in this struggle for fulfillment, which is never ending. Stuck in samsara. And this is the reason why the meeting with the Guru is the most significant event that can happen in the lifetime of a person that spans from beginningless time. From beginningless time, this person has been caught up in this never-ending struggle for fulfillment. Since when? Since beginningless time. Does this mean 5 janmas before? No. Does this mean 5,000 janmas before? No. Does this mean 5 crore janmas before? No. Since beginningless time, that's all we can say. That means you cannot count the number of janmas that every jiva has gone through. This jiva has been struggling in every life for what? For this unconditional fulfillment that he is never able to get. And that is why the meeting with the Guru is considered to be the most significant event. Because With this meeting alone, the direction of life, the direction of pursuit changes. Because the Guru introduces the possibility of the fourth Purushartha that the Jiva was not aware of at all, which is moksha. Moksha is this unconditional fulfillment, this unconditional purnatvam. In fact, the Jiva is really seeking moksha only. The Jiva is really seeking this unconditional fulfillment only. But the manner in which the Jiva is seeking, it will never work. Has never worked since beginningless time. The Guru is the one who gives direction to this pursuit, the proper direction to this pursuit. And that is why our Shastras say that the meeting with the Guru happens only because of some great past punya. Only because of some great past punya. And therefore we say that it is because of Ishvara's anugraha alone that the meeting with the Guru takes place. So Ishvara is the one who is giving the results of my actions. So Ishvara shows his anugraha, showers his anugraha because of my own past punya by bringing a Guru into my life, who can give me the right direction, who can show me the direction in which my pursuit has to be directed, so that I get this unconditional fulfillment that I have been seeking since beginningless time, but have been unsuccessful. And therefore, through Ishvara Anugraha alone, the Guru comes into my life. And it is due to my Guru's Anugraha that the Shastra comes into my life. And it is because of Shastra's Anugraha that Ishvara again comes into my life. And it is through the Shastra that I understand my oneness with Ishvara. Ishvara Anugraha brings me to the Guru, Guru's Anugraha brings me to the Shastram. And the Shastra's Anugraha helps me see that I am one with Ishvara. And this understanding, this knowledge that we call Atma Jnanam, alone gives me that unconditional fulfillment that I have been seeking since beginningless time. Therefore, Durlabham Trayamevaitat Devanugrah Hetukam Manushyatvam Mukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshayah. So these three things, if they are there in a person's life, that is extremely rare. One is Manushyatvam, having been born as a human. Because this human life, one has to have done some punya for this. Doesn't come without that. And Mumukshutvam, most of the humans while away that human life in the kind of pursuits that we talked about, in all the externally directed pursuits, artha and kama, pursuit of securities and sense pleasures. Mumukshutvam, if it's there, with Manushyatvam, it is rarer. Because this person has somehow discovered that whatever I am working on, whatever pursuits I have been engaging in, they're not really helping me get to this unconditional fulfillment. And therefore, I need to do something else. This is mumukshutva. Person who has come to this point is rarer. But then there are lots of mumukshus who understand that these pursuits are not giving me unconditional fulfillment, and therefore I have to pursue spiritually something. But then they don't get clarity in the spiritual pursuit. And therefore, the spiritual pursuit also becomes a kind of a struggle to become something, become something, become something. And therefore, one again comes into a life of becoming. I'm trying to become something spiritually. So that results in a form of spiritual samsara. That struggle also doesn't end. And therefore, Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. We need a Mahapurusha. Who's the Guru? Whose shelter is required. Shelter in the form of the teaching of the Guru, in the form of the direction of the Guru. That gives the right direction to my spiritual pursuit. By bringing in the Shastra, by bringing in Vedanta, the teaching of Vedanta, that can eventually give me the jnanam that I am one with Ishvara. So this direction has to come. That comes only through the Guru. And therefore, a human being that has all three, know this, that it is Devanugraha Hetukam. It is rare. That's what the Viveka Chudamani says. And therefore, to summarize why the Guru has got such an exalted place, is because the Guru awakens me from this dreamlike existence. Just as in a dream, I have taken myself to be this puny dream individual and in the separate world, and I'm struggling. That struggle ends only when I awaken from the dream. So similarly, the Guru awakens me from this dreamlike existence where I've taken myself to be this puny creature in the separate world. Because the Guru awakens me by bringing me to this understanding that I am the super waker Brahman, the Adhishthanam of the Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. And as this Brahman, I am free from all of this struggle and suffering. I am free from birth, death, and all of the struggle and suffering that happens between birth and death. And therefore, the Shastras talk about the necessity of a Guru. Tad Vijnanartham Saha Gurum Eva Abhigachet. Gurum Eva Abhigachet. That Eva indicates that one has no option but to go to a Guru. So one may ask a question that, okay, I have discovered this pursuit, external pursuit is not leading me to this unconditional fulfillment. When I understand that the Shastra can give me the knowledge, so why cannot I just self-study the Shastra by bypassing the Guru? What is the necessity for a Guru? So we say that because the internal darkness is there, this darkness of ajnanam is there. If one tries to study the Shastra by oneself, first of all, the language barrier is there. But let us say that one has even mastered the Sanskrit language. And therefore, the language barrier is not there for such a person. But as long as this internal darkness is there, the spiritual blindness is there. And that spiritual blindness causes a lot of misconceptions. And therefore, one brings in a lot of existing misconceptions to one's study. Imagine if I am looking at the world with blue glasses, then everything appears blue. If I look at the world with green glasses, everything appears green. So whatever I see, it is tinged with the color of my glasses. So imagine I am trying to self-study the Shastra by putting on the glasses of my own spiritual blindness and the resultant misconceptions. Then the verses will not reveal their true meanings. I will understand the verses, standing on the foundation of my own misconceptions. Those misconceptions will not go. The spiritual blindness will not go. The ajnanam will not go. And then there is this issue that we have talked about before. There is this chicken and egg problem. That in order to put every verse in the proper perspective, I have to have the entire vision of the Shastra. It is like arranging pieces of a jigsaw puzzle to to arrange them in such a way so that I get the full picture. Thankfully, the boxes of the jigsaw puzzles have got the full picture on the box. So I can use that as a reference and place each piece of the jigsaw in the right place. But imagine I'm given a heap of jigsaw puzzle pieces, but I don't have a picture of the entire puzzle. Now, how am I going to arrange these pieces so that I get the full picture? Therefore, a guru is required. Why? Because the guru has the complete picture and he knows where each piece of the jigsaw puzzle goes. And the question is, how did the guru get this full picture? Because wouldn't the guru have had the same problem? And that is why we say that one should avoid a guru who has done self-study. Because if the guru had done self-study, the guru would also have had the same problem. And therefore, the tradition insists on going to a guru who has had a guru. And how did that guru solve the problem? That guru also had a guru. This is how we break the cycle. The guru has the entire picture and the guru can explain every verse, keeping the bigger picture in mind. And therefore, one needs the systematic study of the Shastra through a guru. If all of these jigsaw puzzle pieces are heaped on top of one another, there is no way one can complete the picture. Or imagine that somebody dumps bricks and cement and steel and glass and all of this in one big heap. Each verse of the Shastra is like a brick, or this piece of steel, or this piece of glass. The entire thing has to be arranged in the form of a building. A guru can arrange all of these bricks in the form of a building so that I get a vision out of it. In the absence of a guru, if I am trying to do self-study, then all of these will be like a heap of bricks. And one needs dialogue. One needs somebody to have a dialogue with. Because Vedanta is not about belief. Vedanta is about understanding. And therefore, if the Guru says something, if I am not able to understand it, I need to get the clarifications. If I have the doubts, I need to get the clarifications. And therefore, the dialogue is required. And therefore, some self-study cannot be a substitute for a Guru. That's why Bhagavad-pada gives a stern warning that Shastrajñopi swatantriyena brahmanveshanam na kuryat. Bhagavad-pada says. That Shastrajnaha, even if one is an expert in the various Shastras, like an expert in Vyakarana, an expert in Mimamsa, an expert in Tarka, Shastrajnaha api Bhagavad says, Swatantrena, independently, Brahmanveshanam, do not do this inquiry into Brahman, an inquiry into what is reality, without a guru. And therefore, as we have seen, a guru cannot become a guru through self-study, at least in the vision of the Shastra. Because nowadays there is a lot of people who proclaim themselves to be gurus, having done some study or the other, but it is not possible to trace the lineage of that guru to some other guru. The Shastra does not admit a guru who does not come from a parampara. And therefore, the guru got this knowledge, got this clarity only because this guru had a guru. And how did that guru get the knowledge? How did that guru get this clarity? Because he had a guru. And so on, this continues. So who is the first guru? We say the first guru can only be Ishvara. Because Ishvara, as we have seen, being the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, is the source of everything in this creation, including the Vedanta Shastra. And therefore, Ishvara is the first guru. And therefore, this guru-parampara begins with Ishvara as the first guru. And therefore, we are not just indebted to our guru, but we are indebted to every guru who is in this chain called the Guru Parampara. Because the continuity of the chain is important. If the knowledge has come from Ishvara, and if the knowledge has reached me, I owe my gratitude to every link in this chain. And therefore, every guru in this parampara becomes important to us. And therefore, on this Guru Purnima day, we offer our gratitude, we offer our salutations to every guru in this parampara. So with this bhavana, we will chant our Mangala Charanam that we do in every class. We will chant our Mangala Charanam. Om Vishwandarpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyannijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahiribodbhutan Yatha Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanameva Tvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Narayanam Padmabhum Vasishtam Shaktin च तत्पुत्र पराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्द योगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः परब्रह्मनिष्ठं स्वतो धर्मनिष्ठम् अहिंसैकनिष्ठं स्वशिष्यैः सुजुष्टं यतीनां वरिष्ठं गुरूणां गरिष्ठं दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्यमीडे नमः श्री परमार्थाय संसाराध्यासनाशिने श्रोत्रियब्रह्मनिष्ठाय Tasmai Brahmavide Namaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om. We'll now chant the Guru Stotram. So you can pull up the link that I had sent on the WhatsApp channel, and I will say the verse and chant the verse, and Shadaji, you can repeat after me, and you all can repeat along with Shadaji, but you can be on mute. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam yena characharam Tatpadam darshitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarvashruti Shiroratna Virajita Padambujaha Vedantambuja Suryo Yaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashwata Shantaha Vyomatito Niranjanaha Bindunadakalatitaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
ज्ञानशक्तिः
ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः
तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः
तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः
भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च
भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्त
अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्त
कर्मबन्धविदाहिने
कर्मबन्धविदाहिने
आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन
आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च
शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च
ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः
ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः
गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक्
गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक्
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं
न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं
न गुरोरधिकं तपः
न गुरोरधिकं तपः
तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति
तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति।
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
मन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथः
मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथः
मद्गुरुः श्रीजगद्गुरुः
मद्गुरुः श्री जगद्गुरुः
मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा
मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
गुरुरादिरनादिश्च
गुरुरादिरनादिश्च
गुरुः परमदैवतम्
गुरुः परमदैवतम्
गुरोः परतरं नास्ति
गुरोः परतरं नास्ति।
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव।
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।